So I just got done being all caught up on Daredevil Born Again. Did all 4 episodes, and I thought I would just try to do a quick off the cuff, non scripted video about some thoughts about this close enough to mid season so far. So to start, just for full clarity, I have not seen the first 3 seasons of the original Netflix Daredevil. I did that kind of on purpose as I was thinking about, hey, I should watch those, get caught up in doing this whole new thing. I started listening to other people's reviews and comments, and a lot of them were comparing it, rightly so, to the Netflix Daredevil because it's been advertised to be like a season 4 continuation. But people who are liking the show are doing the weird defense of, hey, stop comparing it to that. You're trying to compare, God level TV to the best that shitty Disney Marvel can do. So I went, I might as well go in blind as if I'm just someone just going, hey, look, this new Daredevil thing popped up on Disney Plus. Let me give it a watch kind of thing. I do know everything that Daredevil has done since the Netflix show, and again have seen some people do some review of the episode, so I'm aware of a lot of the criticism as compared to the old Netflix show and some of the things that they've done. So I apologize if I get things about certain characters way off or why it seems wrong or be like confused everywhere, but I don't think it's gonna be that type of review. I think this is gonna be more of a Mike rambling, whatever, off the cuff kind of thing. Because fuck it, not gonna script it. Let's just get going.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
So, of course, spoilers, and so let's just go ahead and begin with the first 15 minutes of the first episode, where they do the blatant, obvious reshuffling of old Netflix characters, get them out of there, get the new Disney checkmarked approved characters in that everyone was gonna love because they're the Disney ones. They're gonna be better and blah 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 blah. And yeah, that happens, and it's not very well subtly done. Even I, who have no connection to the characters from the Netflix show, was like, "Wow, they really just got these guys in and out, just trying to hit boom boom emotional moment." This is clearly very forced to have the more diverse Disney approved cast in here. I mean, as someone who's not so invested with those original characters, the spoilerly how they get put out of the show was not much of an emotional hit to me. So even if it was, be like, you don't care about them, powerful moment to make Matt Murdock not Daredevil anymore. Don't think it was that well executed because they didn't give them that much of scenes together for those who don't know much about them, and they fast tracked a year to where Daredevil was, I wouldn't say over it, but the bulk of the emotional move on has already happened. So I don't think it was very well executed. I think that whole part probably could have been a year on its own. But I'll get more into kind of what a year in its own, season of its own. But I will get more into that at some point, I think, as they kind of address some of the other things that happen in the episodes, and then kind of foresee how I think this season should have been structured. Because honestly, I think this season's kind of all over the place. They have so much they're trying to do. You can kind of tell that it was scrapped and reworked to be a different show. There's just boom, 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 so much going on. There's just going into characters, trying to get it out there. There's 9 episodes, which seems weird. I mean, usually get 8 to 10. It seems weird that it's 9, but it's just fast kind of moving, not a whole lot of sit down character work. The lawyerness stuff is okay. Don't go into this thinking this is how, courts in America work, because they definitely don't move that fast. The powers of the office of mayor don't move that fast. I mean, they don't do a very good job of any of that. Seems like weeks have gone by, months have gone by in the show. Don't know. It all feels like a couple of days. Not really sure what's going on there. The new characters that replace Netflix ones aren't really characters. They're plot devices to keep things moving forward. I don't know anything about them, so I don't really have the ability to address who they are as characters and why they might be liked or should be liked. They're purely there to be they're diverse people who are really good at their jobs, and they're just kind of feeding information to push the plot forward. They're not really people. You could kind of, I guess, say that about Matt Murdock and, Kingpin with this whole show, except, the acting is top notch. You can tell that they've known each other. The dialogue's good enough for you to be able to pick up, but yeah, they have a history. You understand that he was a bad guy, it was Daredevil, they thwarted each other. Some shit went down. He lawyered him at one point, he daredeviled him at one point. That's why Kingpin, it was like, hey, who's talking here when they're doing an intimidating speech to each other. And you pick up that there's all this stuff there. I don't think that part needs to be as flushed out for newer viewers as other things. It's all other characters. I do think a lot of the acting was very well done. Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, they know these characters by heart. They clearly love them. Even with Vincent D'Onofrio's voice that's kind of grating in my ears sometimes, it's still very good, very well performed. All of his fidgeting and his little movements, him fighting that urge to be the evil, mean, kill a guy, decapitate his head with a car door kind of Kingpin guy, how he's suppressing that, as he learns more about how much red tape there is to being mayor and to get everything done, him just being pulled back more and more and to be the Kingpin. Like his performance on it is great if the writing isn't always perfect. I like some of the cinematography choices that they're doing, like when Matt's getting pulled to be Daredevil, times where it's really starting to affect him. There's a red tint or hue because of some radio tower light flashing on him or something like that. There are those little things that I think are well done, and there's ideas that I like that what they're doing. I like the idea of the BB report, see the man on the street and how the whole city of New York is feeling as a whole about vigilantes and Kingpin and stuff. The problem is the execution, and the problem is also this far into the Marvel universe, you've got, so many things. They were fighting aliens months ago. There was the snap where everyone was gone. Like, there's all these things that it's really hard to just not address. You don't need to address a lot, but it's really hard to just not address at all. Because when you're saying that this is all a through together tied line, and you're just like, these little tiny one-off nothing like stories that have no giant, universal impact. I still want them. I still like them, but they also have to be able to write it in a world where all of this big shit has happened before. Like the fact that Kingpin is getting hired as a mayor, or not hired, getting voted in as mayor because of his anti-vigilant, anti. I really hate this word. I'm really not gonna say it. Anti-vigilant, anti-vigilante, vigilante stuff is weird because it's like vigilantes and superheroes saved the world and the universe multiple times, and it's not like it's a secret in this universe. Everyone knows about Tony Stark, everyone knows about the blip, everyone knows about the aliens that were in New York that the first Netflix Daredevil thing, I guess, did address through throwaway lines at some point. Again, I haven't seen it, it's all what I've heard, but like in this show, they acknowledge that Spider-Man's a thing. I mean, who's hating on Spider-Man? Like, I don't think it's very well executed, any of that stuff. The idea of what millennials and young people are with the BB report, who, they get moister than an oyster for recycling, and they love who Kingpin is as a person, politician or whatever, and oh, he filled a hole, so great for him. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird how they're trying to write for what they know, but they know California young people. So I'm not sure. The power of memes gets him elected. Which, I mean, I think that's funny. I do think memes, the internet is very powerful for all that. I mean, a lot of people get their news from meme sites at this point because why not? I mean, sometimes you get more truthful stuff on there. But I don't think it's going to be a thing that actually wins elections. There's the compounding stuff, and all the election happens in 2 episodes. Feels like 15 minutes. Like it's just like boom, 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 and elected. Okay, now we can move on to the rest of the story. And it's like holy shit! Like if you could actually write a full season about him getting elected. And that's the end of the season, is him getting elected. So now I was like, holy shit, what's he going to do now? Go to season 2. You know what? Let's just go ahead and get into what I think this whole thing is. Because I'm not going to get too spoiler about the details. Let's just go into it. The White Tiger thing. Like the actor, didn't think the court stuff was very well handled. I think Matt, having been Daredevil for so long, the fact that he trusts the cops, a crooked cop, to not do something is whatever, and this thing in the loyalty in the system is his whole downfall needed a lot more explaining, which I think they could have done in a season, like this whole, or at least half a season. I think you could have you still had the old Netflix characters be gone, and spoiler, Foggy die. And I think you could have done like Punisher Devil. He's starting to go more into killing. He's starting to turn more into the Punisher like person. And, he's getting there. He's pissed. He wants his revenge. He's like, screw the law part. I'm taking it in my own hands. Because maybe Bullseye doesn't get as much punishment as he wanted to, or he felt good about throwing him off the building, which I don't know how he survived, by the way. That seems kind of weird, but I don't know. I don't know what the character's powers in from the Netflix one, but either way, I still think he should have died off the roof. But you have him getting mean. You have the Kingpin, coming back, wanting to become mayor. You see him change, like you start to think he's changed. You see him manipulate his way through, kind of kingpin his way through everything. And while Matt's daredeviling, you get the White Tiger stuff. So like the first half of the season, he's Punisher, Daredevil, all this stuff, and then White Tiger comes in and kind of sets him straight. He's like, he comes in and he's like, they essentially do a reverse of the Punisher and Daredevil thing from the Netflix series, where Daredevil's more on the Punisher type and White Tiger's more like how Daredevil was, where that you have to let the law do its thing. You don't just murder people. Don't cross that line. And he kind of brings him back out of it. And then he's like, you know what? I can't control myself anymore. I have to hang up the horns, do it for Foggy. The White Tiger, he's a good guy. He's got this, he seems stronger than what I was able to do to keep, this wanting to take matters in your own hands in check. And then that second half, you have the stuff go down with the crooked cops, and White Tiger have to go to trial, and Matt's not doing Daredevil stuff anymore, and he ends up being the lawyer for the White Tiger, like in the show. And then you pretty much keep that other stuff going off, and you have the ramifications of that, like that. You have that year of the grieving and everything, and then the second half is this trial, and you really lay on this trial. Like you don't do 2 episodes, you do like the full thing. And the whole time is happening, like Matt's just so enthralled with this trial that he completely forgets about Kingpin running for mayor and everything that's happening there. And like, even if they keep it like a subtle, not that much going on there, so like even the audience thinks he's a good guy now. You have him go and you rise the power in the mayor, and then you go boom. You show something about like how he did it in the final episode, how he's kind of still kingpinning his way because of the bureaucracy and shit. And the second season is him doing that. So even if you don't have him be a bad guy all the way up to be the mayor. You still have him bit the mayor. The second season, you have his I'm truly trying to be a good guy, and then get pulled back to being Kingpin, and then Daredevil. The last thing is is White Tiger getting killed. Spoiler, sorry, and Kingpin getting the mayor. So then the second season becomes, now that there isn't that Daredevil there, and the Kingpin's mayor, like Matt trying to be like, should I take it up again? Because now there's nobody to deal with, this low level threat while Spider-Man's out fighting aliens and shit, or or while other heroes are taking it up, it's Hell's Kitchen is now neglected because White Tiger's like just took care of Hell's Kitchen, and there's hundreds of superheroes taking everywhere else. That pull, I think he could have done something with that. That would have been my kind of done with it if I really had to keep some of the bullet points they did. But here they're touching on so many different ideas. It seemed like they threw kind of all the kitchen sink at the wall to see what stuck, and I had to retool some stuff. It's very obvious how they did some retooling, and it's very obvious that they relied a lot on CG and not practical stunts because they were given a bit more money time. Because good lord, it's Disney CG. Oh my god, is it Disney Marvel CG? It's not good. They even CG pigeons because they couldn't be bothered to go out in the streets of New York and just film some pigeons. There were some really bad CG choices, really bad CG in general. The action, first 15-minute one that people seem to kind of like, it was CG floopy, the one-shotter thing that Daredevil's kind of known for, which I have seen a lot of the clips of the one-shotter stuff, so I do kind of about that. And this one was not good. It was a lot of CG. I don't know if they filmed it somewhere else and just repart it back in, because I think the first episode was completely reshot, and then 2 through 5 or 6 is retooled old episodes, and then the new episode or something. I can't remember, but it's just, or at least there's a lot of rumors about which it is, so I wouldn't remember what it is because no one really knows the truth except for the people who made it. Yeah, that first fight, not great. Again, I don't really know Daredevil's suit abilities there. I don't know if he can tank a bunch of knives. I get adrenaline because Foggy's dying. It's just keeping him going, but and then they jump a year so you don't see if he recovers or how much damage was done to that. Or, and I haven't seen the first 3 seasons to know how good his suit is. So that's more me not seeing it than really complaint that they should have showed it. Although I think I would have liked them showing a little bit about how that fight fucked them up, but that's more nitpicky. Again, their Bullseye probably should have started off with that roof. I think I've heard something about Vibranium's fine, but Vibranium hasn't really been introduced or been manufacturable till this Captain America movie, and it seems like this is probably happening around the same time, but it's not really clear, so I don't know if Vibranium's a thing in the Marvel 1 universe now. But, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, plot armor there. Why would Daredevil Bullseye shoot everybody from afar and then do a walk up to kill the girl and then have CG Daredevil smack him to the window? Seem like bad choices. Why would he throw CG smoke bombs he kind of needs to see in order to do his Bullseye powers, and Daredevil doesn't need to see because he can't see, but he can because he can see 360 at Daredevil's powers. And all right, I guess that was my buffering. Oh yeah, all right. I don't know. And then episode 4 came, and that was weird. They finally introduced main villain Enigma. At least you saw him. He's draining blood from somebody or something. Creepy guy doing something with blood. Don't really know who he is from the comics. I'm not a comic reader. I'm kind of excited to see who goes there, but then you also got all the Kingpin shit going on, and it's like you're getting a little much for me, honestly. It's a little much. Don't need so much. Don't need so many characters going on. Just kind of sit on through line there. Just set it and go. Don't keep branching off back and forth. You're not a 20 episode procedural. You got 9 episodes, 9 kind of long, but keep them tight episodes and just do your singular thing. Don't go branching off where you can't recover. That was weird. Yeah, and you got Punisher finally arrives. He'll probably be back in other episodes. Didn't do much for me because not a lot came from it. Not a lot was meaningful, other than just it seemed that he was his little speech was kind of the kick in the pants that Daredevil needed to start practicing with his baton things on the roof again. I don't know. Don't enjoy cuckpin stuff with this fawning over his. Well, I mean, I don't want to say not fawning over his wife. I like that. I like how much he loves his wife and is devoted to her. It's not too simpish. It feels like he legit just absolutely loves this woman. I like that. And then from what I hear, she was supposed to be like pretty much the same back, but she just instantly cheats on him because he doesn't think he's coming back. Because I guess he didn't keep in touch with her after he escaped. I don't know what happened all the seasons. I think it was like he was gonna go to jail and then he got freed or he escaped and then he did the Hawkeye stuff and then he did the Echo stuff. So he was free and out, and none of that time did he get a message to Vanessa somehow. Tell her like I'm free, I'm trying to come back, here's this plan that I'm initiating, and she wouldn't have gone to help or gone to him. I don't know. The Kingpin they're portraying in this season of how, I don't want to say simpish, but devoted to his wife that he is, he's not getting in contact with her for this whole time that he's gone. Or was it he was gone in the coma or whatever from being shot in the face? And I don't know. But if she was at the hospital bed while he was recovering the shot in the eye thing, she would know he's free and what he's doing and that he couldn't get in contact because he's recovering. So I don't know. Her whole making the business a lot better than he could is a very, girl boss Disney thing. Because I don't know. Because whatever, why not? And then it just irks me. It just irks me because the dude's supposed to be Kingpin, Like, I know him from Spider-Verse, the original Daredevil, and some other random here and there stuff. Like, the dude's supposed to be, a really brutal businessman and villain and just brutal in every aspect of the way, except for kind of when it comes to Vanessa. So he would probably have pretty good control over the criminal organization and the way of life and knows some stuff, Her, I don't know the season, but I think she was in there for him. She didn't care about the organization stuff. She kind of was interested in learning some of it, but then out of nowhere, she's now running it more legit. Don't know if legit or bulletproof, so I don't know if that means legal or just no evidence or whatever, but that seems to be slipping this season, so in these episodes. But either way, don't know what that means, but she's apparently the greatest thing ever, turns him into Cuckpin, and he just cries about it a lot while being furious and beating up on Adam, which everyone saw coming from a mile away. We all knew that what was happening. That spoiler for the end of episode 4, but everyone knows that's what was happening. And it was good to see, oh, look, he's being healthy and stuff in front of Vanessa, trying to be the mayor, and then in a creepy basement, he's being Kingpin, where he's eating gabagool and beating up the guy that his wife cheated on him with. So yeah, good for him. He's doing a bit of stuff, and it's all right. It's just poorly executed. I like some of the ideas going on, but there's not a lot keeping me that entertained. I don't think it compares to the hype that the first 3 seasons had. Everyone talked about it's not just good superhero TV, it's good TV in general. Definitely don't think it compares to the amount of hype that other show, well, not the other show, but the first 3 seasons get. So Disney definitely Disneyfied it and just aren't doing as well of a job. If it was not for trying to grow this channel, I don't know if I would continue. I would still be interested to like finish it out and then watch the first 3 seasons and then be like, holy shit, like yeah, that was a hell of a lot better. Just kind of a weird, different way to watch it, kind of thing. Because I think if I saw something that was amazing and then just got into this sludge, it would be really bad. But if you kind of like go here, start with the sludge as an easier way to consume it and get through, and then be like, ooh, look at this great sandwich. Maybe, yeah. We'll see how that goes. But let me know what you think. I know. Sorry. Again, this was rambly. I didn't like hit every episode, every point, the thing that happened. Because it's been 4 episodes, and this is really just kind of want to give some rambly thoughts out there, get a video out there. I don't know if this will have this edited by the time episode 5 is out. We'll see. Because the day of the recording this, I'm planning also doing a Monster Hunter stream with the Birdie Boy. Check out those VODs on the channel. I think we have a good time on those. And so we'll see how much is put into editing this, and if I do many visuals or it's just me in front of a camera like classic old timey YouTube. Don't know. Right there, you happy, Rob? I did an unscripted one. Okay, like an unscripted.